I think we're all finding ourselves in the exact same situation yesterday and today. We're all trying to find a way to enjoy our holidays a little bit away from politics, but that just doesn't seem to be the case. Justin Trudeau addressed the nation in a extremely creepy and bizarre fashion. In other words, Justin Trudeau did a regular speech. I mean, it's actually pretty freaking weird. It's probably going to go exactly how you think it's going to go, but we're going to take a look at that nonetheless. We're also going to take a look at what to expect if Trudeau resigns during the Christmas holidays, if that's even something that's possible, and what's going to happen if there's an early election. So we're going to take a look at different scenarios, as well as a poll update. That's right. Pierre Poilievre has a tremendously larger lead than he ever has before. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, everybody. It's Christmas Day. And by the way, I will be saying Merry Christmas to everybody who says happy birthday down below in the comments. My birthday has always been in the shadows of Christmas, and I'm finally using my platform of 400-some thousand subscribers to get thousands of birthday wishes to make up for all the years of people just saying Merry Christmas. So Merry Christmas, everybody, but also don't forget it actually is my birthday. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before we get into it, I would really like to encourage you guys to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet already. It does really help grow. And hey, it's a birthday wish, so you might as well do it today of all days. Without further ado, let's get right into this. And we're going to start things off with the polls. This is how we used to do things. Then took a little bit of a break on that, and now we're bringing it back. All right, here you go. Pierre Poilievre sitting at 232 projected seats. That is incredible, with a bottom line of 207. He only needs 172 for a majority government. So things are looking really, really, really favorable for Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives. But what's not looking good is this rapid decline and rapid incline between the Liberals and the NDP. Not too long ago, like a month or two ago, Justin Trudeau was sitting at 63 projected seats. Now he's as low as 39. And the NDP was at 18. Like half a year ago, and now he's up to 25. And when you're looking at the actual percentage of the popular vote projection, you have Justin Trudeau at 20% and the NDP right on his tail at 19, which is incredible to see. So we might actually see a strong Conservative majority across the government, a crumbling Liberal Party, and then the official opposition, as weird as it is to say, be Jagmeet Singh and the NDP, which, all things considered, I don't know which outcome I would rather have. It being the Liberals and Justin Trudeau as the official opposition, or Jagmeet Singh, but nonetheless, we are still on track for an extremely large majority for Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives. And then it's still 99% likely across the board for Pierre to win the most seats and odds of a majority government. So the polls are looking very, very, very good. But what's not looking good is this weird and creepy and bizarre message to the nation that Justin Trudeau did. Now, we're taking a look at the clip here on CTV. And as you can see, it has 18,700 views at the time of this recording, 300 likes, and 1,800 dislikes. So 1 in 10 people dislike the video. That's insane. That's such a crazy ratio to have. And obviously you can tell people are not happy with this message. So buckle up, because it's weird, man.
Hello, everyone. Merry Christmas. This is a time of year to slow down, to rest, and to connect with the people you love most. It's a moment to put our phones down, to put our politics aside, even when that one cousin makes it really hard, and to focus on what matters. For Christians, it's a time to celebrate the birth of Christ and think about his story of kindness, forgiveness, and faith. The lessons of his life are universal, and they inspire and comfort people every time they're told and retold. For so many, the holidays are a time of big family gatherings and feasts, of gifts and celebrations. But maybe it's a very hard time for you. If you're grieving, worried, or alone, this can be the toughest time of the year. It can be the loneliest. So let us all check in on the people in our lives who've not had an easy time this year and who may be needing us more than we know. For a lot of Canadians, Christmas is not a holiday at all. So thank you to our brave first responders, CAF members, healthcare and essential workers, and everyone who's on a job right now so that others can stay home safely. You embody what Christmas is really about: giving, gifts, food, and service to those around us. I wish joy to everyone who's celebrating today and comfort to those who are suffering. Wherever you are, I hope you find light and hope for the year ahead. Merry Christmas.
Man, I hate his face. I hate his face. But at least he said Merry Christmas. And you got some politicians out there that are choosing to say Happy Holidays. Now, personally, not that this is a competition, but I don't know if anyone's actually said Christmas, just the word Christmas, more than I have, because my birthday is on Christmas. So every single time I've ever been in a situation where I either have to tell somebody my birthday over the phone or in person for some sort of service that's happening or some sort of verification check, it's always Christmas Day. That's the only thing I say. And only once in my life has someone ever challenged me and said, but what day is that? And I said, it's Christmas. There's one of them. Okay, but what day is that? It's Christmas. I'm not going to say the date. It's Christmas. There's literally one. It's not in July. It's not in June. It's Christmas. And so I've literally only ever said that fun fact. But anyways, I'd love to know what you guys think down below in the comments about that message. Is it weird? Is it not weird? What the heck is he talking about? There's always a weird cousin out there that's going to bring up things and stir the pot. Screw you, Trudeau. You've given a world, the entire country, and a lot of the rest of the world reasons to talk about Canadian politics at a time where we shouldn't even care about it. But here we are making a video on freaking Christmas, for crying out loud. Now let's take a look at another video that's going to say what's going to happen with Justin Trudeau. Is he going to stay on as leader? Is he not going to stay on as leader? Here we go. Let's take a look.
She has great economic credentials. She's declared her independence from the Prime Minister, and she'd be ready on day one to take over.
Jean Chrétien's right-hand man, Eddie Goldenberg, is not waiting for Justin Trudeau. He is pushing his party to pick now backbench MP Chrystia Freeland for leader. Goldenberg says she'd be the perfect foil for Donald Trump precisely because Trump does not like to be confronted by strong women.
We know we're dealing with a bully. And when you deal with bullies, you don't appease bullies, you push back. She's pushed back against him, and that's why he doesn't like her.
Liberal MP Sean Casey in Chandra area also went on record this week pushing for Freeland. Goldenberg says the party has no time for a normal leadership race. He says the caucus should just choose the next leader.
The country cannot afford a vacuum with a leader who doesn't have credibility over the next 3 or 4 months.
Liberal Party President Sachit Mehra refused an interview request on the topic, but legal experts have told Global News that, well, Goldenberg's idea to skip a leadership race is a long shot. That said, some Liberal MPs say the process to pick that new leader should be a quick one.
The sooner the better as far as I'm concerned. I think it's important to provide that clarity, but I think it's also important the sooner he's able to make that decision, the sooner we can move into this process that you're asking about of electing a new leader.
The party will have its processes, but I think also we have the concept of electoral emergency in many of the things we do.
Both Yvonne Baker and Rob Oliphant believe the Liberals cannot win the next election the way things are now.
There's an obstacle there, and it's Justin Trudeau, and people are not rational about it.
David, you've been talking to lots of Liberal MPs this week. Is there a consensus emerging on what Trudeau should do?
Resign.
Surprisingly,
Call an election.
Carolyn, no. While there are definitely more Liberals calling for Justin Trudeau to step aside now than there were at the beginning of the week, it seems to be still only about a third of the caucus. Another third want him to stay, and another third will not say, privately or publicly, where they stand. But you know, Rob Oliphant told me something I thought was interesting today. His riding executive was unanimous that Trudeau had to go, but As Rob told me, it was not about any policy disagreements or anything wrong with Trudeau's record in office. It was about the man himself. Oliphant's riding executives are like a lot of Liberals right now. They are convinced Trudeau will lead them right off the electoral cliff, and that's why he's got to go. Carolyn.
David Aiken in Ottawa.
That is such a piss poor excuse to not leave. I mean, only 1/3 of the people that follow Justin Trudeau don't have support in them. That's absurd. The entire country is ready for an election. The polls are reflecting that. Not just the narrative on social media, not just an echo chamber, but it's real. It's happening. That's why Trudeau gets heckled everywhere he goes. That's why even the mainstream media is saying, all right, buddy, it's time for you to step down. That's why the mainstream media and reporters are pushing back on Jagmeet Singh to call a vote of non-confidence to then he actually has at least committed to the idea of that. That's why everybody is waiting in full anticipation for Trudeau to, get recalled back to Parliament and for an election to happen. I don't know if Trudeau is going to resign. I wish I did. I think a lot of us are skeptical because he's probably the most narcissistic person anyone has ever seen. And it seems so unlikely and far-fetched that somebody with that big of a narcissistic personality trait will ever resign. But we just don't know what kind of pressure he's getting behind closed doors. But I'd love to know what you guys think down below in the comments. Do you think he's going to resign? Do you think he's going to prorogue? Let me know your guys' rationale. Next up here, we have another video that's saying, report, Justin Trudeau does not intend to step down over the holidays.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Those were the Prime Minister's parting words when he left Parliament Hill on Friday. With questions still swirling about Justin Trudeau's next steps, the Globe and Mail is reporting that he does not intend to step down over the holidays. Instead, the embattled Liberal leader intends to go on a trip with his family to British Columbia. While Trudeau may have plans to hit the slopes, calls have been mounting all week from within his caucus for him to take a walk in the snow.
I think people feel very negatively, or rather negatively, about all the options on the ballot if we were to have an election right now. And it would be nice to offer them somebody to vote for as opposed to against.
Ontario caucus members met virtually over the weekend, and of the more than 50 MPs said to be on the call, Liberals say not a single participant spoke in favor of Trudeau staying on. Since Chrystia Freeland's bombshell resignation 1 week ago, Trudeau has been seeking advice from those he trusts about next steps. Meanwhile, in a fresh fundraising email to supporters noting that this is going to be the last Christmas before the next campaign, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre said his party has never been closer to defeating what he calls the NDP Liberal coalition. With Donald Trump taking office in less than a month, today Trudeau's itinerary had him taking part in a closed-door meeting of his special cabinet committee on Canada-U.S. relations. Though political observers say that while he may be planning Canada's counter to tariffs, it remains to be seen if Trudeau will still be the Prime Minister by the time they're imposed.
There's definitely a prospect of him stepping down after the holidays. I don't think there's much prospect of him remaining in office. I just don't know how he's going to be able to continue on. If he were to poke up on, say, January 6th and say, after this long period of studied silence, I've decided to remain, I'm the best choice, and I'm rallying the party behind me, he will find that the party is not there to be rallied.
With a prime ministerial resignation, a parliamentary prorogation, or an early election call all seemingly still on the table, any decision Trudeau makes about what happens next will be consequential. Heather?
I think that it's more likely for Justin Trudeau to prorogue government than it is for him to resign. I mean, I just don't see that happening. I would love for that to happen and then for another Liberal leader to come in and then just an election get called. That doesn't really matter. I mean, the NDP leader, Jagmeet Singh, is already committed to the idea of a vote of non-confidence. So I think that if we just look at that at face value, I know it's almost impossible because he's just lied and lied and lied time and time again. But just for the sake of entertaining this conversation, if we look at that at face value, I don't think it matters if Trudeau resigns or not. There's still going to be an early election called on the path that we're currently heading towards. And so the only real way to steer away from an early election is proroguing government. And I just hope that he doesn't do that. I hope that he also stays true to his own words and the words of Freeland, where they don't want to prorogue. If an election happens, this is right out of Justin Trudeau's mouth. If an election happens, then so be it. Then the Canadians can choose. But I don't think that he's, I mean, I'd like to say that he's not going to resign and not going to prorogue, and we're going to see an election the first few months of 2025. That would be the most optimal outcome. An election, let's get it done. Let's get the Conservatives in, and let's see what they can actually do. But again, that's my opinion. I would love to know yours. Someone who shares a similar opinion would actually be Mr. Nanos. When you look at the polling, things have shifted so much to the right that it's unavoidable. Everybody knows that there is going to be a blue wave that takes over Canada. It's not a matter of if, but it's more a matter of when. Let's take a look at this video here.
Good news for the Conservatives. They're clearly in majority territory. The Liberals are back on their heels. The Bloc are also a party to watch in Quebec. But, right now we're looking at a majority Conservative government.
Why don't we go coast to coast, if that's all right with you, and start in the east? How are things looking in Atlantic Canada?
Well, check out the map. On the left-hand side is the outcome of the 2021 election with the new borders modeled, right? Not on the old borders, the new borders. Then on the right, you can see where we project right now with, at least in the last week. Check out Newfoundland and Labrador, looking pretty blue. There's one little speck, I think it's Cape Spear, that is that we think that the Liberals will be able to hold on to. Avalon is too close to call. That's that gray spot. Same thing, you look at Cape Breton, swinging from Liberal to Conservatives, even on the island of PEI. Malpac probably a pickup for the Conservatives, but the Conservatives challenging in the other two ridings in PEI, and not a lot of red in New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Dominic LeBlanc, and Beausejour and Acadie Bathurst in the northern part of the riding. But you can see the Conservatives basically in Atlantic Canada poised to pick up seats, a lot of seats in Atlantic Canada right now if there were an election, with the Liberals really back on their heels compared to where they were.
I mean, it's so bad that even Justin Trudeau, and I think the riding of Papineau, is scheduled to not win his own riding. Like, that's how bad this is. So all of the, all the Liberal MPs, the ones that we know of, their names, the main ones, even Chrystia Freeland, even though she's left cabinet, she's still kind of at risk of losing her seat. I mean, a lot of these people live in Liberal strongholds. That's why they've been MPs for so long, but also times are a little different, and voting for any Liberal is either directly or indirectly supporting Justin Trudeau. And a lot of people are waking up to just how bad that has been and how detrimental that is to our economy, to Canada, to policies. And so it really feels like we're heading into something that we have never, ever seen before, which is going to be abso-freaking-lutely phenomenal. I'd love to know what you guys think down below in the comments. Is Trudeau even going to win his riding when it comes time? It'd be pretty funny if he doesn't. Funny, ha, ha, ha. That very much is funny. But what's not funny is this video right here of Justin Trudeau. What to expect if Trudeau resigns before the next Canadian election. Again, a lot of people want that closure of Justin Trudeau going all the way to the next election and running. So they're going to just play like a few seconds of that weird speech that Trudeau gave, but then it goes into a separate clip.
Hello, everyone.
Well wishes from Justin Trudeau.
This is a time of year to slow down, to rest, and to connect with the people you love most. It's a moment to put our phones down, to put our politics aside.
Sage advice that the Prime Minister is unlikely to follow. Trudeau is still not set if he'll stay on after Chrystia Freeland's shock resignation that led to more than 20 Liberal MPs to call on him to quit. A Christmas Eve storm has dumped enough snow in Ottawa for Trudeau to follow in the footsteps of his father and resign early in the new year, which would force the Liberal Party to run a shotgun leadership race. The Constitution says it must be a minimum of 90 days long, but that might be more time than the Liberals have.
I suspect the party, if a leadership race is triggered, will need to amend that to ensure that we can select a leader in a matter of, 6 weeks, certainly under 2 months.
The Liberal Party of Canada. It would be considerably shorter than when Trudeau won the leadership in 2013. That came nearly 2 years after Michael Ignatieff had resigned.
862.
1984 was the last snap leadership race, John Turner becoming PM just 108 days after an unpopular Pierre Trudeau quit. A similar situation to what his son faces now.
Yeah, I'm going home. The Liberal Party is certainly at a crisis point. I think that the Prime Minister has really a matter of days, if not weeks, to ultimately announce his resignation.
If there is a leadership race, Parliament is likely to be prorogued, a maneuver where the Prime Minister asked the Governor-General to shut down the House of Commons for a set period of time, which the former clerk of the Privy Council thinks would put the country in a difficult position ahead of potential U.S. tariffs.
We have a lot of energy going into leadership race speculation. We need to decide who's in charge and who is going to be the person across the table from Donald Trump.
Leading Michael Wernick to believe an election is needed soon.
All of this sort of performative theater and House of Cards drama may be entertaining and make for news, but it's weakening the country.
Another option if Trudeau quits, a leadership race could be skipped completely, and the Liberal caucus could appoint an interim leader to be confirmed by the party at a later date, like they did in 2008 with Ignatieff, which would mark the first time in Canadian history, Donna, that there would be an interim prime minister.
Mackenzie Gray in Ottawa, thanks.
That isn't very true, though. There was a previous interim prime minister, and it was, in fact, the only ever female prime minister, if I'm not mistaken, Kim Campbell, way back in the day. Before my time, she was the just kind of placeholder first female, but not officially first female prime minister. And so I think with just how woke everything is right now, there's definitely going to be an internal battle with the Liberal Party, where they're gonna try to be pushing Freeland to run as the Liberal Party leader. Now, will that be successful? I mean, America's tried that with Hillary, with Kamala. No, it wasn't successful. Not because they were women, but because they tried to, a lot of times they tried to weaponize the fact that they're women and how they need to be the first women leader. And that just isn't really going to work. At least it didn't in America. I don't think it would work in Canada. I would hope that feminism mentality wouldn't be able to just persuade Canadian people. I don't think it would, because I feel like everyone's just sick and tired of the woke crap, and we just want a conservative majority across the board and move on with our lives. Politics is designed to be boring. Legislator, rules, policies, it's extremely boring. It's extremely meticulous for a reason. We're not supposed to be paying attention this much to politics. When things are broken, that's when people start going, hey, did you hear about that thing that they're doing? Hey, did you hear about that? Yeah, they're really allowing people to bring litter boxes into schools to pee in because they can pretend it's cats. No, that can't be real. I'm telling you, man, it is real. When we get to that point where everybody's talking about politics, gender identity, next world war, the price of blueberries, that's not a good place to be. And our country is broken socially, economically, in so many different ways. And the only way to get back on track is to just go completely opposite of where we have been previously, which is all the way to the left. We've been so woke and progressive that now it's time to start bringing the pendulum back to the right and find that sweet spot. Now, there are arguments to make that we're not going far enough to the right, and that's an argument for another day. I'm just here to say that it's Christmas time. We all want the same thing, an early election, but also don't forget to wish Mr. Sunshine Baby a happy birthday. And I'll say it again, like I did at the start of the video. Every single person who says happy birthday down in the comments will get a Merry Christmas reply from me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. On your way out, I would like to encourage you guys one last time. If you haven't yet already, hit that like button. Nay, smash that like button and subscribe to this channel, and then turn post notifications on so you can actually be notified of upcoming videos. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now. Merry Christmas.